In this video, we're going to be talking about why you should watch Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, this is the first anime that I've finished watching, properly finished. Now, I'm kind of new to anime, haven't been watching it as long as some other people. And there are lots of long series, and I've started lots of them, but I know I'm not going to finish them. The odds of me finishing One Piece is so low because it has over 1,000 episodes. And that applies for all the other popular franchises like Dragon Ball, Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, etc. So I wanted to start a short series, and I've been hearing about loads of short series that you should watch, things like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer and things like that. And I thought, I'll start Jujutsu Kaisen. There's only 24 episodes. I can finish that quickly, and I finally finished watching all 24, and I have to say it's a very good series. So I want to talk about why you guys should watch it. So if you've never watched any anime before, then I think this could be a good introduction. It's not too complex, but has deep themes and meanings that can sort of bring realization to audiences about real world problems, which is interesting. I like shows that are more complex than just fighting point aimlessly. Now the show has lots of characters and their backstories are explained in character arcs, but we're just going to focus on the main 4 characters. So starting off, we've got Yuji Itadori, who's the main character, and he's sort of your standard protagonist of a movie / film / television series, being that he's sort of energetic, happy, and always talking and stuff. And he's very powerful, he's ridiculously powerful, but he's really, really powerful and a fun, enjoyable character, enjoyable to watch. And his whole thing is that the villain of the series, Sukuna, lives inside him. Sort of an interesting concept that we've seen before, but basically the villain lives inside him because, I want to spoil it, I'm not going to include spoilers in this video, but the villain lives inside him and it shows the conflict between them stuff. It's kind of similar to how in Naruto, I don't know if you guys have seen Naruto, but in Naruto, the nine-tailed fox lives inside of Naruto, but this does different. I don't know how to explain it, but the concept's just different. But this Sukuna guy, he lives inside Yuji, and he can control his body anytime he wants, because they make a deal, so he can just take control whenever, and he's just trying to gain power, whereas Yuji just wants to destroy him to save the world and be a hero. And our next character is Gojo. Now Gojo is sort of the teacher role of the character, and he's ridiculously powerful, but we'll get to that later. Now, Gojo's this sort of easygoing guy who everyone around him is all serious, and he's just there all relaxed. It's oh, don't worry, everything's gonna be fine, etc, etc. And he's this easygoing character that's fun to watch, just like Yuji, and him and Yuji sort of bounce off each other, but Gojo makes Yuji look weak, because Gojo is so powerful. Even our villains of the show, they'll be talking about Gojo saying, oh, we can't defeat him, so we need to distract him or whatever, because Gojo's just so powerful that no one can beat him in a fight. He's ridiculously powerful and everyone knows that, and throughout all 24 episodes he doesn't lose any combat, he doesn't lose in any way, shape or form. He stays strong and stays at the top. And Gojo is similar to Kakashi from Naruto in the way that he's the leader, but also that he covers his eye. And I won't spoil into why he covers his eye, but he's ridiculously powerful without his blindfold on. He makes his old self look weak. Now the next main character is Nobara, who's the female character of the cast, and she is sort of can come across as maybe rude to the other characters, and sort of just does this Jujutsu sorcery for her own reasons. And I don't really think there's an arc that really fleshes her character out, which isn't the best, but there are certain episodes that can focus on her, and themes of episodes can focus on her. Now she's pretty powerful, and she has this straw doll technique, which is very memorable. Now each of these characters have their own technique / form, and it's interesting seeing different characters' techniques in the show. That's something interesting, but she's a pretty cool character. Now the next character is Megumi Fushiguro. Now Fushiguro is probably my favourite character overall out of all the characters. I've got to say, this guy is probably my favourite, And I don't want to get into why. I just want you guys to watch it and watch his story arcs, because he's one of the best characters, and watch how he transforms from episode 1 all the way to episode 24. You can see his narrative and how he plays out the different characters, his relationships with Yuji and other characters, and just the decisions he makes while in conflict. And the last few episodes, his scenes, he steals the show in the last few episodes, and that's just really cool. I like when shows explain these characters. Now, it's not just the main characters, they get cool backstories. I'm just going to focus on Panda, who is one of the background characters, but he's like a supporting cast character, but he still has a fairly big role, and I just want to go over him as an example. So Panda is a cool character. I won't spoil his character arc, but here's his backstory that we get to see in this one really good episode, probably one of my favourite episodes, that shows the relationship between him and his brothers and sisters, and his technique / form that he hides from everyone. And it's all shown in this fight where he's fighting this guy called Kikoshi. I can't really pronounce it, but he's like this sort of mech robot guy who also gets his backstory explained in the very same episode. So you've got these two fighters, and in between that fighting they talk and tell them each other things about them, because Panda views himself as similar, but the other guy views himself as completely different. And we get to see backstories for both of these characters, and it just fleshes out what we're watching. And that's probably my favourite thing about Jujutsu Kaisen, the way that they flesh out characters so effortlessly. Everyone gets their own backstory, and you fall in love with every character without them even trying. There's only 24 episodes, but you still remember each character. Every scene is memorable, and I recommend that anyone who's never seen any anime or wants to get into anime, or even if you're a hardcore anime fan, if you haven't seen this, then I recommend you go watch it. It's literally on Crunchyroll. You can watch it for free with give or take a few adverts, and it's a great anime to binge watch because it only has 24 episodes. Now, if you're new to this channel, then I recommend you subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.